Hello everyone, Attack Power here with Game 1 between Wantsomenoob and Stardekk in the semifinals of the Steel Division 2 Season 10 Division 2 playoffs. Let's dive right in. Alrighty folks, so sort of missed this one and hopping back into it because they are some exciting matches here. We're here on Tali Inhantala, and on the left in the red we have 43rd Reserve Army on Maverick Income. And on the right in the blue, we have Stardekk on 3rd Armored on Maverick Income as well. So, Tali Inhantala, we've seen this map a few times this season. Same description as always. It's a solid map. It's just this big lake down here really like focuses all the fighting up here, which makes it very tight and very, very knife fighty, which it's not bad, but it's still a 2K map. A lot of open space here to work with in these several positions, so should be interesting. 43 reserves got IS-2s and T-34-85s. Not a lot of them, but enough. And 3rd Armor, of course, has the Jumbo Wumbos and the regular Shermans and such. So let's zoom in here, see what we got going down here. We have a PTRS-41, some Sapody PPSH, M42-45 mil, 2 BA-10s, another Sapody, a Cherno, and a T-34-76 1943 variant. Then we've got Sapody Maxims, Sapody again, PTRS, a Sapody Komroti, some more Sapody PPSH, a Razvedka Recon, 85 mil AA piece, and an SU-152. Down south, a 45 mil, an Avto Strafniki officer, and a Cherno. Up north here for Stardekk, we have an 81 mil mortar right off the bat, half track. We have an M15 AA piece, an M8, a armored rifles, and the M3A1, I believe this is. Yeah, M3A1, flamethrower, M5A1 Stuart, and rifles in another M3 half track, M8, light tank, more rifles, heavy machine gun, M8 Scott, M5A1 Recon again, more armored rifles, an M5A1 Recon again, and an M8 Scott. So a crap ton of light armor up there. And down south, basically nothing. Just an M2 heavy machine guns and an M1 57 mil gun. Basically all the infantry, I think all the infantry and 3rd Armor comes in half tracks, I believe is how it works. Similar to like a Panzer Lair sort of situation, but for the Allies. The other nice thing, well, actually similar to Panzer Lair as well, is that most of this infantry has bazookas on it. So, you got to be careful getting in close with your armor against this division, because those bazookas fire very quickly and can rip through your armor quite well. In terms of actual numbers, 3rd Armor has a lot more armor to work with. 43rd Reserve has a nice mix of stuff, but not a lot of anything. We do actually see a T-34-85 combat coming down here, along with an Avto Strafniki. The big weakness of 43rd, of course, is twofold. One, you only have 85 mil AA for your AA choices, which is really not that good. It's just rough having only these things. They're very easy to target out with artillery and things, and then you have basically no artillery at all. You just have some mortars, so it's really quite rough. And for 3rd Armor, your issue is a general lack of infantry. Your infantry you buy are quite expensive. You don't have a lot of CQC kind of stuff, and you can struggle with heavy tanks. Big stuff at long range can be quite the struggle to actually kill at the end of the day. But here we go. Yeah, we usually see a push into this position here, but Stardekk making no attempt at that this time. Both players on Maverick Income, so we're on the mirror income. Neither player will have any significant advantage from an income standpoint. These Jeeps should get in there pretty quick. The flamethrower, though, I forget what this is called, 4 GPA, which is actually one of the fastest transports left in the game. Not a lot of units can use them, but this one can. I forget how fast these are. 90 kilometers an hour, so nothing super fast here for the heavy machine gun. Although I'm not sure it's going to be able to stop these Sapody PPSHs in time. It will not, especially with its targeting of the Maxim, which are triple star with that Sapody Komroti because the commander's already out. Yeah, it's going to get wiped out. It's going to lose an early 50 cal. And the Sapody PPSH is a nice response here to the armored rifle to kill the half track specifically. The half tracks can be extremely obnoxious and hard to deal with. M5A1 going down already. T-34-85 commander getting into the fight. Oh, I'm such a nervous Nelly with these things. I could never actually put this thing into a fight. 150 point tank. Oh, that would make me so nervous. P-51 coming in for the Sapody PPSH. Yep, nice little hit there. This is the lightly armed one. See, no infantry up north, though. Just an M8 Scott and M5A1 holding the line. 81mm mortar starting to do its work already. We do see the issue here for Stardekk with the lack of CQC infantry. That even dealing with some sappity PPSHs, which are not good infantry units, it's a struggle. Can check out these armored rifles, though. We don't see this unit much because this is the only division that has them. No machine gun on this thing, just rifles and a bazooka. This one, the armored LMG rifles, has no bazooka, but has double Browning light machine guns. Sappity goes down to the M8. Nothing down south. We have a nice bulge here, but nothing dangerous. He is putting Wantsomenoob isn't putting a Cherno down here just to make sure that nothing crazy happens, which can often happen before you ever even notice it. So currently 13-11 for Wantsomenoob, picking up some valuable points tickets here. As we all know, in these mirrored incomes, getting early leads can be a big deal. So I guess the Sappity showed itself, or he's taking a very good guess at where it is. Half-track mortars are wonderful like they always are. Very accurate, can get in quite easily. And now with that down, the flag flips back to Wantsomenoob here. T-34-85. I mean, honestly, at range, this thing's pretty safe. I mean, 110 millimeters of armor can bounce all the Sherman shells all day long. Now, the 76 version of the Sherman will prove to be kind of problematic, but other than that, it should be quite safe. I do think, I just can't remember it. Yeah, the M5 gun coming in now. Strafniki officers, very strong. These are just Strafniki units with Fanatical. Another issue with 43rd Reserve is it can be a little just lacking in numbers of infantry in a general sense. Once you run out of these Strafniki officers, things can get a lot tougher really quick. Though Wantsomenoob with a lot of veterancy on his units early, it's always nice to see. We don't see commanders used super duper often, but it can be so strong if you can leverage that veterancy well. Makes your units so high quality. M3A1 going down. SU-152 in a nice spot here. Zenart 85 mil in position as well. Oh my goodness, lots of shooting. All three of them like shot at the same time, which is pretty cool to see. Half-track mortar coming down on those Maxims. They'll break those down quite easily. I will say I think red side's the tougher side on this map. This early flag is easy for blue to capture early. You have these two flags that if blue pushes into can, he can easily get. It's not super hard to get that flag. On the flip side, red can get this flag, but it's much trickier. As we can see here, it's much harder to get this one way forward. Though you get these nice forward positions to push onto this flag. I think in general, you just got to push a little further. M5 gun, very strong AT weapon here. It's got the APCR that the Americans are famous for with the 2K APCR range. AP shell only 1750, definitely a lot more lackluster. Still 130 millimeters of penetration, which is plenty. And then the HE shell, which not many AT guns have. M15 does pretty well holding that IL-2KR. T-34 double T-34-85 here. These are the 1943 variants, though, so no 2K range in them. Not that you need it in this matchup so much. 2K is nice, but you don't need it to fight off other 2K assets, essentially. A lot of T-34s here. Stardekk, though, picking up a flag here. We get a ground attack trying to take out units in this forest. Now, Stardekk a little bit too far back, though, to fall to that, most likely. Strafniki officer will be able to recapture that. So back to a 12-12. Back to the parity. Not anything super crazy here so far. Wantsomenoob lost a couple Sappity PPSHs and stuff. That's about it. I think some light armor did go down for Stardekk. Yeah, he lost a Stuart and stuff, but that's it. So neither player really drawing any serious blood here so far. Do see an 82 mil mortar. This is about all you have to work with. 120 mil is the other option, and that's it. As rough as having only 85 mils is, I think only having dinky mortars is more painful. It really depends on the game, right? Sometimes artillery is a big deal, and sometimes you never call a piece in. It's just kind of how it is. Wantsomenoob has to be careful. Is Sapperty Kamroti in a bad position? Completely exposed. And since he's invested so much into this early commander, he needs his officers to not die. There you go. He has noticed this oversight. Strafniki officer pushing in. We do see a second 81 mil mortar. Smoke coming down. I'm not sure. Let's see if he makes some sort of push. Armored rifles with no machine gun should have no chance at this range. Sapperty Kamroti moved just in time. 81 mil mortars going after that. Stardekk on his micro moving these 81s. Wantsomenoob capturing a flag again right here for the 1311. But the LMG rifles will beat out the Strafniki officer in the open. Another T-34-85 coming in. No, wait, that's the same one. It got shifted. M3 half track catching this out. Although it has this M15 has to be careful. T-34 somehow not spotting the M15, and Stardekk hops out of range just in time. Very lucky for him. Down south, actually, we have a lot of action going on. M4A1 coming in, along with an M8 Scott armored rifle and a M15 for AA. Big investment here from Stardekk. BA-10 and a 45 mil. Not a bad defense, honestly. The BA-10 will go down to the M4A1 quite easily. 45 mil though could prove problematic. Do see an attack beacon. 82 mil mortar trying to keep this forest cleared out for this flag, but unfortunately with the half track there, it's going to be tough. Wantsomenoob did lose this flag, and now he lost this one to 2, bringing it back to that 1311 we saw. Surprised he hasn't just moved up the T-34. 85. There's not a lot here that can stop him for real. Here comes our first jumbo of the match. It's very easy to bring a lot of these in. 140 points, but 190 millimeters of armor. There ain't much in the game that actually can kill this really cleanly outside of the Axis, 88 and the IS-2/ISU, whatevers. Otherwise, you're relying on artillery or some sort of air piece. Here's that P-51, 213 kilogram bombs, 85 mil, failing to stop that as it usually will. These things are quite zippy. We can see how bad it misses then. Down south, BA-10 did back off and stayed alive, so looks like we're at a parity here. Neither player pushing forward. I don't know if Stardekk saw these troops and brought these guys in, or brought these guys in and Wantsomenoob responded. We did miss it. LA-7 taking a zip down south. Not sure for literally he has it just flying across the map. With the M15s around though, he will get forced off. SG-43 hitting up some infantry here. That does reveal it to everything. M1 gun in position here. 150 millimeters of penetration will be enough to kill the T-34-85s. You do have to be a little bit closer though. Max range you won't do very well, but at this range you'll do just fine. Mate Scott getting a miss here from the 85 mil. 85 mil now. Boop! Pops that M8 Scott. Down one of those goes. M8 Scott it's really more of an efficient unit than anything. It's only 25 points. Its HE shell doesn't do a lot of damage, but it does have 2 machine guns, and for 25 points, 2 machine guns, one of them being a 50 cal, I mean, that's cheaper than the actual 50 cal machine gun. Like, just straight support weapons. So, now we see these 81 mil mortars targeting some artillery. I mean, tanks, sorry, some T-34-85s. If Wantsomenoob not on top of his micro, he's going to lose these. These 81 mil mortars can be quite devastating to these tanks. A second volley on target will kill that T-34-85. IL-2KR forced off. Don't see anything else happening here. T-34-85, 1943 variant, not long range enough to like find the M15. It is moving though. Started very on top of his micro. SU-152 goes down to the jumbo there. It's a big loss for Wantsomenoob. And the issue is these T-34-85s have no chance of killing off that jumbo. 85 mil took a lot of damage from the 81 mil mortars here. Here they go, looking for this 85 mil. And this is the issue with the 85 mils. T-34-85 left APCR on, killing off a half-track. This APCR has a small chance of penning the jumbo at close range. And I mean close range. Like, it's got to be 1,000 meters or less, probably closer to 500 meters, and then it might. It's still under. I mean, the Jumbo has 190 millimeters of pen, 180 mils of penetration. You know, obviously the math ain't great, but Stravniki officers do fall back in time, so they will not get very damaged. They're fanatical, so they won't surrender. 85 mils mortars, 85 mil AA pieces showing their weakness here because they can't stop these P-51s. This tank's still alive, but damaged. Now we have a 50 cal in position. These Stravniki officers are going to take a lot of damage. We are in B phase, though. Here comes another Jumbo with an M4 105 2K HE weapon there. Stravniki officer taking lots of damage here. These are chunky squads, though. They do last a long time. M5 gun can be really dangerous for this T-34-85 that's moving aggressively forward. Down the Stravniki officer goes. And the more important fact is here, the T-34-85 can't see as well now. It's lost some of its recon there, basically. So it's going to be easy to sneak up on, or even, I wouldn't even call it sneaking. It's easy to drive, like walk up on with this M5 gun, for example. M5 gun with a cheeky line of sight down the road here. SU-152 spotting it as well. Will it get a shot off? Oh, no. Interesting. Okay, I can't tell who sees what. SU-152, though, getting a nice hit into all these troops here. Mortar coming down as well. This is a very thick concentration of troops. This high HE damage will be very dangerous for it. Maxim reveals itself. Half-track goes down to the 152. One more light armor piece down. Ammo in for the 81 mil mortars going after this 82 mil mortar, but Wantsomenoob is on his micro, so he should be able to dodge that. Jumbo proving to be an issue. Here comes an IS-2, though. That, of course, very capable of killing off that Wumbo Jumbo. Yak does get its clusters off. Cannot kill the armor. The 45 mil did go down. There is the T-34-85, though, so that will stop this push pretty much in its tracks. T-34-85 is in an interesting spot here. Do catch out this M5 gun. IS-2 going down south. I'm surprised he didn't move it to take out this Jumbo, because now the SU-152 is in a dangerous spot. Jumbo going after the 85. 85 does have APCR. I don't know what it pens. 180, it's the same kind of gun as the T-34-85. It's going to be an issue. T-34 looking for the side shot, though. This would be huge. Gets one. One of these is going to kill it, because the Jumbo's continuing to aim at the 85. Jumbo goes down. Nice kill there for Wantsomenoob. It's a big deal. He needs those badly, because the Jumbos can be such roadblocks. They're just brick walls that you have to work through. M5A1 goes down, so Wantsomenoob making some nice progress here into this position, getting some good trades at the moment from Stardekk. T-34-85 spotting out the recon. Will the recon get out in time? It will. Chernos versus armored rifles. Armored rifles will win, as the Chernos lose to essentially everything. They're just for holding lines. 85 mil is on the move. Some nice, just constant movement here. M4A1 76, definitely a lot more dangerous than the other Shermans. SU-122 takes a hit. Whoa, he's moving the combat forward. Wow, that is ballsy. I mean, he's trying to double team. I see with the concept here. SU-152 takes a hit from the 76. IS-2 versus M1. IS-2 very safe, of course. SU-152 goes down. M4A1 76 takes one pen from the combat. I applaud Wantsomenoob for his ballsiness on this combat here. I couldn't. I just could not. M5 gun spotting out the combat. There it is. There's one hit. He decides to stand and fight. I don't agree with that choice. Aye. Down goes the commander. Oh my god. The IS-2 bounces off of the Jumbo, gets a hit and bounces. I mean, the pen chance is going to be somewhat low here, because it's 200 millimeters of pen against 190 millimeters of armor at maximum range. It's going to be tough. I mean, it will pen eventually, but it'll probably use up almost all of its ammo. Jumbo finally deciding it's done tanking, literally. Mortars holding fire till they can get a nice shot on this T-30-45. That, again, the loss of that commander was, I think, a little unnecessary. He really could have backed that up and then just let it be a commander hiding in these buildings or behind this forest line here for the rest of the game and continued to enjoy, you know, some 3-starness at least for some of his units. I mean, it was mainly focused right here, but this is where a lot of the combat's happening. Double PTRS coming in. Not sure what Wantsomeenoob's plan here with this is. Ooh. M4A1 76 getting its first shot off, bouncing out of line of sight. Nice micro there by Stardekk. Shrafniki officers held off by the 50 cal. That's going to be annoying. T-30-45 literally like a meter off of finding that 50 cal. HMG spotted out by the 152. Oh no, the 152 is going after the jumbo. Shrafniki officer getting eaten up here. Wantsomenoob has not noticed yet. IS-2 shots at the jumbo there, bouncing again. It is closer this time, so maybe it has a little better chance, but the IS-2 is going to run out of ammo most likely before it pens that stupid jumbo. I do personally find jumbos very frustrating. It's just like an odd unit. It's the only division, I mean, I get why it's there. 3rd Armor is the only division with them. It's not like you're dealing with these all the time, but they can be very frustrating when playing against 3rd. T-30-45 going down to the 81 mil mortars. So we have all those T-34s down. Oh, M1A1 tank destroyers that are APCR getting some pens here. They're bouncing now. Now we have side shots though. Oh no. Oh no, oh no. Remember, this is the 1943 variant as well, which means it only has 160 millimeters of armor instead of 180. The difference is significant. It is significant. Because at 185 millimeters of pen, the you know, the APCR would still really struggle to pen, but at only 160, it's gonna pen at a lot more consistency. Tango Desaniki, a good choice here, but it's still gonna die gloriously to this Sherman, especially if he doesn't take it out. SU-152 doing nice damage, took out the 50 cal, but the M4 with its HE is gonna be a problem. The 85 mil only having 75 millimeters of 1750 meters of range. Excuse me, sorry for the mix up there. 50 cal in this position being really obnoxious off these sappity rocks. We're still at a pretty good parity though here. Neither player can really get a decisive lead. IS-2 is out of AP shells, so it's shooting HE, I assume, at this point. There is supply to continue to resupply the APCR of the M1A1s. The M10s? M10A1, excuse me. M4 Sherman 76 does go down here to the T-30-45 leader. Here comes 155 mil. I believe this match was pre-patch, which means these are still quite... I think they got more of a nerf than that. M4 105 putting down the hurt on the 85 mil. The SU-152 just kind of shooting the jumbo. Again, T-34 out, not T-34, excuse me, IS-2 out of AP shells. And if you enjoy this Jumbo Wumbo IS-2 combat, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more Steel Division 2 content. Another IS-2 now in. M4A1 takes a pen, goes down to the IS-2. It's a big loss. He needs those. It's probably his best answer to, like, the T-30-45s. More M10s, though. These are cheap. And well, they're not super duper cheap. I shouldn't say that. I thought they were cheaper. Track spoken on the M4 105. Ooh. That IS-2. I don't know if it's long for this world. It's a lot of pressure. Should be one more IS-2 in the deck. More T-30-45s. This is the 1944 variant, though, with the 2K range, so it should be a little bit more helpful. At least we're taking out these M10s. There's the 150. There's the 155. Nice placement. It wasn't a ton there, but it's still a natural place for things to be. Yeah, max range. The issue for the APCR is APCR has a really fast penetration drop-off. So the farther a target is, the lower the penetration is. And APCR firing at max range, even though it has a higher penetration, isn't doing amazing work. 45 mil, of course, has negative chance of penetrating this jumbo, even from the side, is often going to struggle. 45 mil gets taken out by that M4105. There's a second one in and a supply to repair the tracks broken. Don't see that happen often. T-3485 tries to get a side shot on that jumbo, cannot succeed. IS-2 did go down. Looks like that's the carcass right there. I'm not sure when we missed it. No, that's not the carcass. Oh, there it is right there. The M10s must have finally got a penetration with their APCRs. And we are in C phase now, so replacing that IS-2 is going to be a tall order. Unless he gets some hyper-efficient trade somewhere else. 45 mil spotting out some half tracks there for it. Yummy, yummy. Unfortunately, instead it's aiming at that jumbo, so is the T-3485. Now, this should bounce for essentially ever. That's until something meaner comes around. Or one of them turns their side armor. Or a P-51 comes in and does something. And this is going to be a while. These are some really awkward interactions between these tanks. Kind of just shooting at each other with no real chance of killing any of them. Half track does go down to the BA-10. T-34 backed off so he didn't accidentally show some side armor at some point. 82 mil mortar going after this BAR unit, I guess. 105 coming in, 155 coming in again. We now have a 40 mil Bofors in as well. Yak 9B though does get his clusters off, takes out that jumbo, big kill, but here comes the armored rifles with the BAR and the bazooka. Gonna take out that T-3045. Very cheeky there from Stardekk. You can get away with that pretty often though, honestly. There's a much stronger unit here. Does have a light machine gun. It's got some Thompsons and the bazooka, so solid unit here. And of course, semi-automatic rifles. The thing with the 155 that's ridiculous is you get 3 call-ins on it, which is kind of nuts. IS-2 does take out one of the M3 half tracks there, killing some infantry off. Nice kill there. These rifles, though, with their bazookas are going to be a lot of trouble for that T-3045. Got a lot of armor down here. 2 105s, 2 M10s, and a jumbo. And I think for 43rd Reserve, that's going to be a tall order to kill off. T-3485 trying to stem the tide here. Armor rifle bazooka actually misses the BA-10 because of the suppression on it. Remember, bazookas and Panzerschrecks have very high accuracy, but they can certainly miss with some suppression. Suppression does a lot of damage to the accuracy rating of a unit. So we see the third and final call-in of the 155, forcing Wantsomenoob out of this position. It's going to be really hard. Once you're out of there, it's really hard to get back in, especially with the armor contingent cutting off the reinforcement route coming in here. Currently at a 12-12, though. There's the 13-11. I thought I had that. All right, makes more sense. Sapri Rox being forced back. It's a wonderful unit with its, mix of long range and close range ability. One of the few hybrid-ish units that I think are actually pretty solid. Ooh, we get a pen from the M10 with its APCR. That's rough. Gets another one. Loader wounded. Ouch. And it's going to keep going. Loader knockout now. IS-2 did turn its front armor correctly. Goes down to the M10. What a kill. That's harsh. The 81 mil mortars probably would have finished it off anyway. Up north, Wantsomenoob was able to hold back the attack there from Stardekk. 85 really on AT duty, but it does find the 105. That's a nice kill there from the 85 mil. He does need these dead so he can, safely put soft things around the forest and such. Artillery leader getting forced off. 15-9 though now for Stardekk. Things sliding a little bit here for Wantsomenoob. Needs to get some good kills. And the final IS-2, I believe, coming in here. Could be more. I didn't actually get to look at the deck list this time. T-3045 misses its chance at the side shot on the jumbo. It's a rough roll there. Happens. I think it was moving. That hurts your accuracy a lot. Sapperty Rock's solid unit at long range, but can't hold off firepower of this magnitude. IS-2 taking a shot at the supply. And missing. Does have the HE off because he doesn't want to waste the ammo on stupid stuff. M10 gets a gun jam, and finally we see Wantsomenoob remembering to micro properly. Okay, so for everyone to know, this is very important. There's the end of the game anyway. Tanks, or just any unit, will always fire at the highest armored unit. So if you put a jumbo there and 2 Shermans, it's going to shoot at the jumbo forever, even though you could easily kill the 2 Shermans. You have to manually target the unit. So, yeah, Wantsomenoob deciding his front line has collapsed hard enough, and Stardekk had gotten a little bit too good in the trades there. Yeah, 2,500 kills to 1,800 kills here. So rough in the trade department, of course. 700 kills down. You're probably not coming back from that. Kill wise, let's check out what we got here. Yeah, the combat, that was still can't believe how aggressive he was with this thing. I mean, he got a lot of nice kills here. It's not like he didn't get stuff. Although many times 85 mil doing really well. IS-2 did kill stuff, but it didn't pay itself off. When you play a division like Third Armor, when you're playing against a division like Third Armor or Panzer Layer, you know, any of those divisions where you have to bring troops in half tracks, your kill lists look amazing, but when you actually zoom in, a lot of the kills are dinky little half tracks and things that aren't worth a lot of points. Checking out over here, M4A1 did pretty good job. That one was down south. 81 mil mortar picking up some very key kills here. Not a lot, but enough. Off map, doing some damage there. Yeah, that's it though. Again, nothing like crazy, but enough. He killed off those IS-2s, and after you have that, the 43rd Reserve doesn't really have a way other than the Yak 9B to kill the jumbo. Like, and side shots, of course, but it's a really tough spot at that point. If you guys enjoyed that content, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and consider supporting over on Patreon. Thanks a bunch, and have a fantastic day.